Hi, everyone. So I think Antaurko wanted to share a little bit of flute. It's, um, it's a great honor to receive Antaurko in British Columbia for the first time. And I will ask a few questions to a little bit direct the conversation and the talk. Sophie, Antaurko, can you talk to us about your lineage, where you come from, and yeah, your teachings, how you've been taught, and yeah.
Well, I am from a small community in the Andes. Mostly we know as the Andes mountain in South America in the part of, and I'm from a small community, Quechua community, and these communities are in a places in the mountain that is like the last communities where people live in the high level of the sea. And these communities are called punas. Punas, the far and remote communities where the descendants of the Incas for many years, thousands of years, one was still keeping the knowledge and the information of the Incas. So, but now it is being released and is coming out to be shared to the world because this information that was kept there in the mountains, it is just recently being being exposed to everybody outside of Peru and outside of the Quechua communities. So this is also part of an ancient prophecy that will be a time when this knowledge of the ancient solar codes will be revealed to humanity. And as we know, many things happen in this continent, and many people lose their traditions and practices, but it is still places like very high in the room and also in the deep in the jungle. There is still these people that was they was able to keep this knowledge and information of these practices is still intact. And this prophecy talks about this time when this knowledge and information is going to be shared to human, because we are talking about the information that hold universal teachings, universal practices that is not only from for a group or a community. It is universal teachings that is actually for a human being. So this is a little bit one of the meanings that I'm coming here to share, and talking about how I receive this this information and this teaching, and how I'm being practicing now is because these communities was in a very far and remote place, and now people most known like the last communities of the Incas. That's what they call it now. And so the people that are already knowing practices, so they are learning. So because this way of living and the tradition and the practices that was preserved, I was also being a part of a lineage that we call in our tradition the Layas or the Laikas lineage, that is very far history of lineage that is before the continents and the separation of the continents, and almost the time of beginning, not only in this part of where I am from, is talking about the whole world. So this lineage, it was the keepers and the ones that they pass in through generation, these practices and teachings and information. So I born in that place with my grandfathers, and I was receiving. Traditionally, is like a rite of passage that you begin when you are a kid. 7 years old, you begin the first initiations to these practices. And these initiations in that communities, it is part of the living, it is part of the way of living. And these also initiations and practices that the kids receive is no only for they someday to be able to share. It's also for a personal growing and developing of their own conscience as individuals. But the ones that they actually take or hold the responsibility to share with the community and outside the community, there are not that much of that people. And these people, we call them hamautas or hakura akuye. Hakura hakuye, they are people that hold these teachings, but they are the ones that they will be sharing in their community and outside of their community. And my grandfather was one of that, a person of that lineage, and he was a kamani. Kamani is the a master that not only works for their community, is we call so it's he is a keeper of different knowledge and information, not only from the Quechua communities, different communities in South America. So the Kamanis, they're like a circle of, a council of elders or a council of masters that they are able to share with different community information and knowledge. And I was growing during that time of the journey of my grandfather. So I was traveling and I learned and I was being introduced to that because the way of life. And in this way, I was also able. I was able to meet, to reckon that something very profound in myself that comes with realizations guiding me through the time. So this is a little bit of how I was I was born in that community, and now I am a Kamani, the descendants of the Kamani lineage, and this is something that it is part of myself as that I realize in my own and personal journey that it is a path, no, a path where you are yourself and in a profound level. It is a very actually very beautiful path because you are able also to share with others, take that responsibility. So that's the way that I learn, and I continue these practices and teachings after practicing for a long time. Now I'm a person that is holding this information and knowledge to do the same, just like I I learned. So I have the responsibility to share with my own community, but not only with my community, because these are universal teachings and information. So I'm able now to share with the world. Here I am.
And we're
Uh-huh.
gonna have the honor to receive the teachings on Salt Spring. And I wanted to ask how those teachings and the solar Inca codes can help us, in our communities, in our families, in our life, in our society, and in this crucial time that we're in, how to support us.
Well, when we are talking about the Inca solar codes, the solar comes with the highest vibration that we know as the sun in our universe. So that's the sun is the higher manifestation of vibration and frequency in our universe. That's the higher manifestation of that life source and life. So when we talk about the solar, it's like the that is being following this principle. So when we are talking about the solar codes, we are talking about the natural law. These natural laws are the foundation of the movement of the universe, are the foundation of life, not only for human beings in the cosmos. There is this foundation that is the natural law, like the time and the space. So these are that carry information, and this solar code is carrying the information in a different levels and dimensions. And also it is interconnect between the microcosmos and the macrocosmos. So when we are talking about our codes, we are talking a very special, profound meaning that is holding these solar codes, and how the solar codes can be used, or what is the meaning for us as human beings. That's also because the practice of these codes as a foundation of a way of living, it was very much manifest at that time, and practicing by following this natural laws, this embracing life force, embracing the movements and the cycles of the cosmos, the universe, and the energy. Now, how we can use these solar codes is it is all different ways to see and to understand. For example, there's a code that talks about a capacity that all human beings are holding, and this is a seed. And in the Inca language, we call them the Inti Muhu. Inti is uh, the solar energy, and Muhu is the seed. All human beings, is no matter which culture, where you come from, uh, which tradition you are practicing, or which race we are, doesn't matter, because we as human beings, we are the holder of that sacred seed, that is the intimuhu, is the solar seed that is holding information of life, information of transformation. It is holding information of evolution. So this seed that everybody carries has a way to germinate, has a way to grow, has a way to develop. And just like the seed themselves, it is a process how the seed is beginning that transformation from that seed becoming a plant. So in the same way, we hold that seed of conscience, where we can be, when we are able to transform by using some practices. And these practices are also the information that is holding this seed, the intimu. So the intimuhu holds the dimensions and the levels of human time. And there is a way to awake the seed, just like a seed is being germinated. So we are actually, we have the capacity to transform and to awake that seed that is within ourselves. And once this seed is being activated or is being awake, now this seed is beginning. So in the same way, when we are talking about the seed, we are talking about this essence of our conscience that is there, is inside of ourselves, that is ready to transform is ready to activate, is ready to awake. And this seed can be just holding there. And when this being hold within yourself, that's when we call that that we are asleep. We are no awake. Actually, we are um, we are trapped in a reality that don't let us see our true essence. And once we discover a little bit of our essence, so we begin to explore this this essence of our conscience, we are beginning to learn about ourselves. So when we talk about the solar seed, it's about ourselves, it's about our essence of our conscience. And at the same time, discover a little bit more about the capacity that we have as human beings, because mostly we know about ourselves a little bit, but actually there is more to know about our own capacity as a human being, because we as human beings, we are very complex. And as we know, you know, the modern medicine, there is some specific uh, you know, scientists that they study something specific about the human biology or the human systems. So because it's to expand, one can't do everything. So if we just see it in that way, it's like so complex that every some 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 people that is beginning to study our systems or biology, there is something specific that they can just learn or going into um, to explore, because we are very complex. So when this seed is being, this solar code, this seed is being activated, we are beginning to know and to dive within ourselves. So it's like getting to know your essence. And in this inner exploration that we begin through the activation of this solar seed, we recognize in the Inca culture, in the Inca tradition, we recognize the four dimensions. And this is a path of inner exploration where we are beginning to recognize the dimension of energy dimension and the system dimension. There is the mind dimension, the system of the mind. There is the physical dimension and the system of the physic. And there is the psychic dimension and the system of the psychic dimension. So this is a path that is taking you, once we begin to activate our solar seed, is taking us to this path that we call Kapagnani. The Kapagnani path is a path of inner exploration, healing, and transformation. So we go into this path to explore and to find um, our essence that is there, and is only in this activation of that seed we can actually can to these inner dimensions that we have, we all, everybody as a human beings, no? So this is the Intimuhu activation and how we can actually begin this path through this activation of the solar seed. And that's only talking about this aspect of a human being aspect and how we hold this activation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'm curious to know if in within the wisdom keeper concept, if there was something discussed saying we should share those teachings now with humanity because it's important. Is there some kind of things like that that were discussed. Like, okay, now is the time to share, you know?
Yeah.
So, mhm,
Um, there is this talking about that this comes with the
mhm,
prophecy that there is actually being from the different ethnic groups in this continent,
mhm,
North, Central, and South America, and which consul, no only this consul is being created right now at this time, this come from the lineage even of that consul was still here. So the circle of that keepers of that knowledge, they are aware that actually this time we're in a manifestation of these ancient prophecies. And in the Inca prophecy, we call that Kute. When we are in a process of transition, where we actually the ones that they are keeping this ancient knowledge and information will come and will be able to share no outside of their community. And it's because these teachings and this information is not only for that group, that ones that they are keeping, or the ones that they was keeping this information. Also part of these prophecies when these teachings are being shared to the world, to the four corners of the planet. And this prophecy talks about this, the Taripai Pacha, time when the different cultures, different traditions, and will share many things during this time. And this is one of the manifestation that is happening right now, just because these ancient teachings are being more exposed right now to everybody. And so it's going outside of the the place that is from.
I have some questions popping up. So I'm wondering if before talking about the retreat, we can take a few questions. I tradition we believe you believe in reincarnation.
Oh. We call that we don't call them reincarnation, but we call them pogog. Waran pogog is the continuation of the spirit, the continuation that is of of the Ilya. We call Ilya. It is a light. It is a vibration. It is a light, and it is more it is more profound than even the light that we are being received from the sun. This is Ilya, so it's like this fifth element that is there. It was there, and it will be in the future. So it is in the past and is in the future. That's something that we can understand, that there is this frequency of this vibration of a being, of information, that we can say it like the spirit or a soul. But yeah, this entity travel through time and spaces, and it's just changing shapes and forms and bodies. But yeah, there is this warampogo, that there is actually this traveling to time, and it is at the same time is part of the evolution of that entity.
Hmm.
That's and traveling to time and space. Yeah.
Mm, thank you. I see something else here saying, um, Ellie saying, can our Inti Muhu already be activated? Is it possible to be already
That's
activated? Yeah.
that's a very good question, because if we will know when actually we are in the seeking, we are in the inner exploration,
Mm-hmm.
so that it is possible that the intimo is already activated, you know. But also there is there is this natural law that is part of the movement and the cycles of the cosmos, and this natural law is the change and transformation that is happening natural and is known in our hand all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and this happen in all different levels. So during a time, this manifestation of this change and transformation that is a natural law that can be that can affect to us and provoke an awakening. That's following this natural law. But also we have the capacity, we ourselves as human beings, to provoke ourselves that awakening. So there is something that is already a natural that is going to happen, even with our desire, but it's taking a long period of time. But also because we are the ones that hold this intimuhu, we are able to provoke this activation. We are able to provoke that awakening of the solar seed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we know that our Intimuhu is awakened?
How we know? When we are a little bit more aware of
Mm,
ourselves,
mm,
no actually aware of the outside, is actually aware of inside. So it's more like when we talk about conscience, it's not the conscience that we actually our logical conscience. We think that our logical conscience is we do things that is right or wrong. That's another way of level of consciousness that there is beyond that logical, beyond that rational, and beyond that memory that is already there, and is something that is taking you beyond this reality, or this awareness that we have in this life. So we will know that because actually it is something that is at the same time developing within ourselves.
mm,
So if something is a little bit more in balance and harmony, so something is maybe probably it is the seed, the solar seed is activating and is already beginning to grow. So
mm.
that's one way that we can recognize that is happening.
Thank you. We have another question from Laura. Hello, Laura. According to your knowledge and in the context we are globally living, which is the new human history that is happening, what should be our main priority now from your knowledge, from your lineage?
The main priority right now,
Yeah,
um,
as a human being to awaken this intimuhu.
well, there is something that we have to understand, that this movement and cycles is not in our hand. That's one thing that we need to understand, that this will happen even with if we are conscious or not. So change in the cosmos happen. It's no matter that we are aware or not, that we know or not, or that it's no matter that we want to be part of not. That change is going to manifest because that's a natural law. It's not in our hands. The change, conscience of the cosmos or the conscience of our planet is going to happen. But now, when we are talking about the level of as a human beings, how as a collective conscience, how we can create maybe a better world, a positive world, or maybe we are visioning a world that is more in balance, in harmony. And if we just have that vision for a better world, I think one of the things that we shall pay attention is really important. It is how we, as an individual, as a self-conscious, what is our giving to this collective conscious. Because every individual has a part of this collective conscience. So what we are giving as an individual to this change or to this way to see the better world happen? So we have to maybe begin this transformation of our better world within ourselves. So begin the change in ourselves as a person, as an individual, begin the change in our family. So, and it's growing bigger and bigger and bigger. But the first is, I think, that we should give and pay our attention is to see a better world in ourselves, to find a better world in ourselves, to begin with that. That's actually a foundation for a better collective conscience.
Mhm.
So each individual plays a role in all this collective or universal conscience that we are all interconnected. The best that we can do is to give that um, that for the future or for the world.
Mm.
Yeah.
And interestingly, we call them codes. Is there a relationship with the beliefs that we carry individually, with our family, as a collective? Codes that can help us tap into who we really are and release some belief or things that we carry? Is it something that can be?
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
because mostly we are sometimes we only we can say that we know through our realization. So that's one way. So sometimes if we, yes, receive information and knowledge from somebody, yes, we can receive that, but other thing is actually to channel that information within yourself. So that comes with a realization. And only in that way, actually, you can know the truly meaning of something because it's being experienced to yourself, with yourself, in yourself. And when we have systems of belief that may is blockaging our full potential, because sometimes we determinate something and it's being created for ourselves that this is like that, or this, I'm sure it is like that, but actually just in that context, if we sink very deeply in that, we may lose opportunity to see a little bit beyond that, or another path, another possibilities. So actually a structure of belief is not like it's negative, it is part, because that's a big part of how you can actually believe strongly to something, but is that is not holding very tight, and is and it is it's a positive. But if it's not something that is holding you only in one way and is letting you see far beyond, that structure of belief is actually is a blockage. It's a blockage that is holding us
Mm.
and don't let us go forward and to explore, to do the exploration for ourselves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have a last question before we speak a bit about treat. and it's an interesting one. Like codes, can they transform? They can transform beliefs, but can also does it change our DNA? Do you feel that it can change our physical structure and our
Okay,
DNA?
that's a very good question
Mhm.
because when we talk about the healing and transformation, um, what we recognize that we need to heal, for example, it is of course from the past to come in terms or something that we need to realize or to understand is because something that we don't think was able to understand and from the past. So when we travel into time and space, we have a past, we have this present, and we have the future, and we continue in that way. So our DNA, what we call, is a frequency that holds information, and this line of life, this frequency of life, each experience of lifetime, it is being gathered in our DNA. And however is your path, lives, or just this lifetime, talking about just this life, the time that we born until right now, we already being modify our genetic code through all the experience that we pass through. And now how we can actually, so even inconsciently, our DNA is being modified each time more. If we are no awake or if we are with less awareness, it is changing. So, but now when we are beginning actually in the seeking of a healing and to find uh, the way of to find a balance within ourselves, this of the healing, we can create to the a place that actually we begin to modify our genetic code. So when we talk about healing our traumas, healing our pains from the past, healing our emotional energy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Antaurko and Isabel.
Thank you so much for having us and sharing this. It's such, yeah, such a blessing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best on your retreat.
Thank you.
All the best to you too.
Mhm.